Here's our example, 25x squared minus 49. We want to factor this expression. So first we check for GCF. There is no number that divides evenly into 25 and 49, and the first term is the only term with an x. So there is no GCF. So next we look for a pattern. So we notice that 25x squared is a perfect square. 25 is a perfect square, x squared is a perfect square. 49 is also a perfect square. And the subtraction sign is important. It tells us that this is in fact the difference of two squares factoring pattern. So the way that we do this is we take the square root of the first term. So the square root of 25 is 5, and the square root of x squared is x. And then we take the square root of the second term, which is 7. So from there we create two binomials, and in the first spot of each binomial we put the square root of the first term, which was 5x. And in the second spot of each binomial we put the square root of the second term, which was the 7. Now in one binomial we put a plus sign, in the other binomial we put a subtraction sign, and it doesn't matter the order. The negative could go in the first binomial or in the second. Same thing with the plus sign, it doesn't matter. If we were to multiply these two binomials together, we would end up with the original problem. So that's how you could check your answer. So here's our answer. This is the difference of two squares pattern. So if you have two perfect squares being subtracted, this is the pattern that you will create in order to factor. Another example we could look at would be 64a to the 4th minus 9b to the 10th. So this one looks a little bit different, but it's the same idea. 64 is a perfect square. A to the 4th is a perfect square because a squared times a squared gets you to a to the 4th. Same thing with b to the 10th. B to the 5th times b to the 5th. So anytime you have an exponent raised to an even number, you just split that exponent right in half, and that's your square root. So the square root of 64a to the 4th would be 8a squared, and the square root of 9b to the 10th would be 3b to the 5th. So we create our binomials. 8a squared goes in the first spot, and 3b to the 5th goes in the second. This time I'll put a subtraction sign first and a plus sign second. And that is your difference of two squares. Those are your factors, and that's how to factor using the difference of two squares pattern.